Hello viewers, welcome to Science TV. My name is Ruth Wairimo and our sign language interpreter doing the voicing is Wanjangede. Let us focus on our news. Kanu has refuted claims that its party leader, Gideon Moi, is seeking any form of political alliance with President William Ruto or the Kenya Kwanza administration. The party stated that Moi has no desire or inclination to collaborate with the current regime, dismissing the circulating rumors as false and misleading. The clarification comes after a video clip resurfaced on social media, allegedly showing Moi endorsing President Ruto. Kanu, however, explained that the footage was from 2021 during the funeral of Hosea Kiplagat and has been taken out of context. The party accused unnamed individuals of manipulating the clip's transcription to mislead the public and push a fabricated narrative. Kanu further questioned the timing of the video's circulation, pointing out that it comes as the government struggles with ongoing public discontent. The party believes the video was deliberately shared to suggest an non-existent alliance and urged supporters to ignore the misinformation being peddled online. And on to our next news item. Kenya has launched a fresh campaign to attract more international tourists ahead of the 2025 Great Wild-Beast Migration. President William Ruto has officially kicked off the campaign on Thursday at the Masai Mara National Reserve, on the world's most iconic destinations. The president announced that Kenya will diversify its tourism offerings by tapping into conference and sports tourism. He said his strategy is key to attracting broader range of visitors and boosting the sector's overall growth. Ruto revealed that the country is targeting 5 million international tourists by 2025. He also pledged improved infrastructure and enhanced digital marketing to support the new tourism drive.
And we believe that is achievable because we are also expanding our other facilities that we are going to use for conference tourism, for sports tourism.
And we have seen numbers increasing from China. And therefore, this is another milestone that today we are honored to have His Excellency the President to be part and parcel of our marketing strategy to the world.
People don't visit Kenya. They come back to Kenya because this is the home of humankind. This is the place that all started. This is the home of human origins.
And moving on, Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Igonga, has strongly defended the controversial decision to charge several anti-government protesters under the Prevention of Tourism Act. He stated that the charges are grounded in law and driven by national security interests, not political motives or retribution. Igonga emphasized that the actions of some protesters, particularly the destruction of government property and institutions, meet the legal threshold for terrorism charges. He insisted that the application of the law is inappropriate and should not be misinterpreted as an attempt to suppress political expression or dissent. The DPP further warned that his office will not hesitate to prefer similar charges in future cases involving violence or attacks on public infrastructure, saying the safety and stability of the nation must remain paramount.
If demonstrations are against the executive, when the DPP makes a decision, it is from the executive. No, we make our own decision based on the law and evidence available. Terrorism is not only when you bomb using bombs, but if you make acts that are endangering human life, government installations, that is an act of terrorism. And it doesn't mean when a law has not been applied for some time, when you apply it, then it's not the law. That is the law. So if people behave in that manner and there is enough evidence that you have committed that kind of crime, you'd be charged without any favor. As long as there's evidence, that's what we go by.
Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions has a very fundamental power and role. That power ultimately can end in a denial of liberty.
And on to our next news. The High Court has adjourned the hearing of the two petitions challenging the construction of a church within the State House, Nairobi, to September 22nd. The cases filed by civil society groups argue that the proposed 1.2 billion Kenya shillings church violates the constitutional principle of separation of churches and state and amounts to misuse of public property. During Thursday's session, the Attorney General raised a preliminary objection, arguing that the Constitutional Court lacks the jurisdiction to hear the matter. The AG maintained that the dispute does not involve constitutional interpretation, but is instead an administrative issue that should be handled by the High Court under its general mandate. The court directed both parties to file written submissions on the jurisdiction question ahead of the next hearing. The outcome of these procedural issues could determine whether the case proceeds or it is dismissed on technical grounds. Petitioners, however, insist the matter has constitutional significance and it must be heard in full. And on to our next news item. The government has unveiled new strategy to overhaul its agricultural subsidy system in a bid to make sector financing more sustainable, inclusive, and accountable. This part of a broader policy reform agenda targeting inefficiencies and leakages in the subsidy distribution chain. The stakeholders from across the agricultural value chain convened in Nairobi for a national validation forum to deliberate on the two key instruments. One, the draft policy framework for the sustainable financing and subsidy management in agriculture, and the draft Public Finance Management Regulations 2025. Under the new framework, blanket subsidies, often criticized for benefiting intermediaries more than actual farmers, will be scrapped. In their place, targeted support mechanisms will be introduced, possibly implemented through digital platforms and the decentralization county-level distribution networks aimed directly at reaching farmers.
Historically, agriculture financing and subsidy support in Kenya have suffered an absence of clear, coherent policy framework. So consequently, many smallholder farmers and value chain actors have been locked out of these finance services and subsidy benefits. So this limiting the sector growth and access to modern inputs.
The subsidies can come in various forms. Like, for example, a farmer may benefit from insurance subsidy and may benefit from inputs like fertilizer and seed. But then you realize that if they don't go to one farm again, then the impact is not there enough. And then also issues of marketing, aligning both subsidy and marketing. So that alignment is what the policy framework is trying to address.
We will be taking a commercial break. We will be back with the sports news.